Hey guys, how you doing today? So we've been talking about making changes, and then the last video was talking about change is possible, right? It's able to happen. It can happen. Okay. So what I want to talk about today is that you've decided you want to change something. You have picked something out, something of your daily habits and routine that you want to change for a better, happier, healthier life, whatever it's going to be. So how are we going to go about doing that? How we got to look at this whole picture, because it's not just as easy as, oh, I'm just going to start doing it. Because if that was the case, well, everybody would be able to walk around and change their habits, no problem. But we got to look at all the various things that go into it. Now, the problem with habits is that we've done them so many times up to this point that they're automatic. We often don't even realize they're occurring. Great example is driving to and from work. Most of us don't remember that drive to and from work because we've done it so many times. Our brain goes into autopilot. We drive to and from work. That's it. It's done. It's over with. Unless something dramatic happens along the way, you're not going to really remember that daily commute. Okay? So that's what makes it challenging in a sense. And yeah, since you do it automatically. So we got to break that pattern, break that habit up in order to create new habits and new behaviors that we want to do. So we got to look at the totality of things that we're trying to do. So say if you decide, I'm going to start getting up at 5 a.m. and getting a workout in to start my day off. And up to this point, you've been getting up at 7 a.m. Okay. So your entire life right now is built on the premise that you get up at 7 in the morning, not that you get up at 5 a.m. So we've got a lot of things we got to change in your day. We all of a sudden have to go to bed earlier because if you're tired, making a change is going to be really, really tough because your prefrontal cortex, the thinking, decision-making part of your brain, is going to be worn out and it's not going to want to make that change. You're going to have to compress your evening activities down. So eating dinner earlier, getting everything that you got done, usually get done in that time. Compress it down into a short time so you can get to bed earlier. So there's going to be a whole bunch of things going into that aspect of things. You might have to modify your behaviors and where you get ready in the morning. Is it going to be at the gym? Or are you going to come back home? Are you going to do a home workout? What's going to go into that? And then on top of that all, when we decide we've got all that figured out and we're going to get up at 5 a.m., but we still got to reduce that resistance. You still got to get out of bed in the morning. So how do we reduce that resistance? How do we make it as likely as possible that this habit, this new behavior is going to occur? Well, that's going to be things like getting your gym clothes out the night before, making sure your shoes are next to the bed, maybe having a snack by the door so on your way out you can be better fueled and having a more effective workout. And maybe as well, even turning up the temperature in the house a couple degrees so that at 5 a.m. when you whip those covers off, it's not quite as much of a shock to the body, or not as cold, not as freezing, and not as, I just want to crawl back into bed and go to sleep, right? So there's a lot of things that you need to think about in terms of trying to make a change. And so maybe just jumping and saying, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m., maybe jumping to that isn't quite feasible, not yet, but it's something that we can work out with, right? So maybe we need to look at first, well, how am I going to get to bed earlier? What do I need to compress and modify in my evening so I can get to bed earlier? Fantastic. Let's start there, right? So every night this week, I'm going to get to bed at 10 p.m. so that I can get up and be decently enough rested to go for my 5 a.m. workout, right? So starting there and trying to compress that piece up. And then maybe it's going to start with, hey, let's just get our gym clothes out and ready, get in a routine that gym clothes are always ready, packed, ready to go, and modifying pieces of our morning so that those are all set up. And then we can finally, once we've got comfortable with all those habit changes, now we can start trying. Let's get up at 5 a.m. Let's go for that workout and make that happen. The key with all of this and what we've always talked about, and I'm always beating the drum on, is you got to start small. Start with small little habit changes and build on top of those in order to reach what your ultimate goal is. Small tweaks lead to massive peaks. So break each of those down, look at the totality of whatever that change it is that you want to make, and look at all the other moving parts that are going into it, guys. Can't stress this enough. Break it down into smaller pieces. And hey, if you've got some time off over the Christmas holidays, this might be a great time to start experimenting, figuring things out, and seeing what is going to work with you so that when the new year hits, you're able to hit the ground running and change and modify right into that habit, to that new change right out the gate. Okay? Food for thought. Check it out. Again, I create all this content for free, guys. I put it out there, so my only fee for this is that if you got some value out of it, share it with friends, family, whoever might enjoy it. Check out Healthcare Evolution on Facebook. Dr. Dan_HE on Instagram, and check out our website, healthcareevolve.ca. And if you need more help, more questions, would like to leave us a review, we appreciate it all. So check it out, guys. Thanks a lot, and have a good one.